The dating pool does not have piss in it. You're just doing it the wrong way. I'm going to tell you one thing I've implemented that has absolutely changed my experience dating so I can actually have fun and make real progress, okay? First things first, if you're someone that still is unsure about dating apps, let me demystify the whole concept and what people might be telling you. Dating apps in 2025, 2026, and so on and so forth in this world of social media where everybody is online and on the internet, it's just another place to meet people. It's just another place to meet people. And in my opinion, I think it makes life a lot simpler because, like, these are people that you know for a fact are single. When you go out, sometimes you got to ask that question. You don't really know. You don't know. Maybe this girl's at home. You don't want to be stepping on any toes, but it's a lot easier on a dating app. I prefer Hinge. Do whatever you want on any platform, but I have found that Hinge, with the prompts and the way that they allow people to build out a profile, it allows me to get a really good idea of who I'm going to be talking to and whether or not I want to talk to them. Okay, so I'm on Hinge. Everything I'm going to explain to you is going to be like me utilizing Hinge as my base, as this is where I'm grabbing my individuals. And I'm going to show you the process I go through. Before I tell you what I do now, let me tell you what I used to do, what you might be doing right now. So you match with someone on Hinge. And you're texting in the app, right? You're going back and forth, getting to know each other, maybe eventually you exchange numbers, and this is still all through text. And then eventually you actually go out on a date. Right? Now, this happened to me before. I was texting this one guy on Hinge, and I'm like, wow, what a great fella I have here. Funny, cool, seems chill based on these messages. I meet him in person. I go on to have what may be the worst date of my life, okay? I'm like, do I have Goofy written on my forehead? How did I get so far in the process and not realize I was dealing with a loser until it was too late and I'd already invested my time into an in-person date? That's the problem with texting. Texting allows people to get by for a while. You miss out on a lot of things that are essential to communication whenever you're only texting. I'm talking tone, okay, a little bit of body language, inflection, all right? Things that would actually help you better understand if you can even have a real conversation with this person, okay? So after my first set of terrible dates based on text messages, I said, okay, that's done. No more texting. Anyone that wants to talk to me is going to have to talk to me, okay? We're going to have to get on the cellular device. We're going to have to get on the phone. And what I realized is that whenever you eliminate text messages as the main source of communication, the main form of communication, it allows you to really see who you're dealing with. Okay, so I'm going to break down what I do to eliminate the losers early and get closer to my man. I'm going to give you some real stories of people I've talked to. I might insert a couple of clips of conversations I've had because as a content creator, I have a little bit of documentation. Okay, I've documented a couple things so I can speak on this in a different way. So here's the structure. Here's the play. This is the play. You match with someone on Hinge, right? I do this also in like 1 week. All of the things I'm about to break down to you can happen within like 1 to 2 weeks. So that way, at least once a month, you're getting through like your first batch. I consider batching. Like you're batching this. Like I want dating to be like something yes, it's important to me. However, it's not like my number one priority in life. I have a lot of other things going for me that are important, that are already working for Trinity Jackson right now. I would love a great partner, trust. And it's important, but it's not priority number one. So I batched this, and whenever I'm going to tell you where I'm at right now because through doing this process about 3 times, I got going on my hands. I am cooking with grease right now. I had to develop this, but when I do this, I batch it. So you should be able to get through this entire process in 2 weeks max if you're really being effective and efficient without being eternal. And this is going to take a little bit of courage on your side. Ladies, it's going to take a little bit of courage on your end, especially if this is a little bit new to you. But I guarantee you the time it saves, I'm having so much fun dating right now that I can't imagine what I used to do, but what I used to do wasn't working. So this is how it works. You go through, and I don't send out likes on Hinge. I know I don't do whatever you want with that information. I don't care that people do. But as I said, dating is not my top priority. So I mainly just wait till the people come to me, the men come to me, and then I make decisions from there. So I don't really send out likes on Hinge because that would require me to sit on Hinge and make decisions and blah, 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 blah. Then I have to wait for him to hit me back and blah, 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 blah. When in reality, I want a man to lead. Okay, I want a leader. I want him to find me, and I can make decisions from there. So I make my Hinge profile. Whenever I reactivate, there's a timing period where I would be on Hinge, off Hinge, on Hinge, off Hinge. So I already have my profile on there. I reactivate it. I just wait for the likes to come in. After you get like a certain amount of likes and you have time, you're like, perfect. I sit down with a little glass of wine, and I'm just going to go through it. I'm going to make decisions. Now, what I'm looking for is different than what everybody else is looking for. You have to really know, like, you have to really be able to gauge. And I feel like it's hard. Sometimes, like, of course, I'm not going to tell you what I mean. What am I going to tell you? I'm going to tell you what I'm looking for, but there are certain things that I look for in a profile that determine if this is even going to be someone I speak to. Not to get into a lot of them, but let's just say any prompts that are, you can actually, I'm not going to get into what I look for in a profile. You will know what you're looking for, which, by the way, before you get into the dating process, know what you're looking for. I'm very direct. I know what it looks like when I'm experiencing it. I know the kind of man I'm like, so it allows me to be very quick whenever I am going through the process, which is why it doesn't take me forever. And I've been able to get where I am right now. So I go through the profile, and out of everyone I'm looking through, I'll find the men that I'm matching with. Boom. I'm sending out my matches. I'm like, boom, I like this guy, like this guy, like this guy. As soon as I match with the individuals I match with, this is step two. I send them a voice message. Right? Because as I said, it's going to take a little bit of being bold on your part, being the one to initiate it. Like, you're going to have to initiate the level of conversation that you're looking for. And it also will weed out a lot of people. So let's say you have 50 plus people that have liked your profile. You match with maybe 20 and you send them this message. Hey, James, Carl, Eric, Lamar, Steve. I don't really get on Hinge that much, and I'm not a big texter, but I'm going to give you my number. And hit me over there. We can set up a FaceTime and get to know each other. Boom. That's the voice message. It's like a 16-second message. Every time I was doing it, it was like a 16-second message. Get them to know a little bit about like the kind of this is what I'm looking for. I'm not here to waste my time. Okay, I'm gonna send you a voice message. They will hit me back. Either they hit me back on Hinge. Here's the options. They're gonna either hit you back on Hinge, say bet. They're gonna text you and say, hey, this is so and so from Hinge. Or you're not gonna say anything because they're like, that's not their style, and that's okay. Because we have to eliminate people that are not in alignment with what we're looking for. We have to focus on the elimination of individuals that are not right. We're looking for one, okay? So 50 people liked, you match with 20, right? Of the 20 that you send the voice message to saying, hey, text me, 10 to 15 are actually going to text you. They text you, hello, this is so-and-so from Hinge. Great. Glad we can follow instructions. Okay. Once they text me, I'm going to set up a time. Hey, perfect. Are you free to talk tonight? As I said, as someone who wants, it's important. It's not urgent. This is not top priority. Right? And then when you approach it like this, dating doesn't feel like this big, I have to do this right now and this is everything. Dating is chill for me right now, and I have more fun when it doesn't feel like the most pressing matter on my plate, because it isn't. I only set up these FaceTime calls after my day is done. It's kind of like, instead of winding down with a good show, a good book, and a glass of wine, I'm just going to wind down with some new conversations and meeting new people. I'm in no rush. And the thing is, when they say, hey, this is so-and-so from Hinge, hey, this is so-and-so from Hinge, hey, this is da-da-da from Hinge, I don't go back and look at the profile and even try to remember who I'm talking to. I just surprise myself with the FaceTime call. I'm like, I'm just going to see who it is whenever they answer the phone. So I asked them, hey, are you free? Perfect. Are you free to talk like tonight or tomorrow around this time? Yeah, bet. I will write it in my planner. Their name, Josh, 6:15. Now, here's the structure of the FaceTime call. Now, I know, and let's go back, because a lot of you may be hearing FaceTime right now and you're already like, what? Huh? It's going to take some courage. I consider this to be the best decision I've made in my dating life, because it feels like a pre-date. You are going to get better at it because most men aren't doing it with other women, and you're also going to stand out for that reason. Whenever I say, let's FaceTime, like, I'm with it. Like, let's FaceTime first. They're like, oh, okay, lit. Like, and you'll be, not many women are doing it. So you will stand out, and you also hold the cards at that moment. Trust. That's why it also feels like it's not really stressful for me. They're the ones that are like, okay, I'm going to get on this FaceTime. I'm the one that set it up. So they're like, wow, she's ready for the face. Yeah. I'm always FaceTime ready. Always. I love a good conversation. Right? So I have found that the best time to allot for these calls is about 15 to 30 minutes. All right. Some people only get 15 minutes, and that's where I'm going to cut it off. Some people we get 30, and then we move to the next one. Now, you're probably like, Trini, what am I going to say on this FaceTime? Relax. Okay. Calm down. You're good. You're safe. I want to say, like, ladies, you're safe. You are holding the cards here. You set up the call. This can go wherever you want it to go. Point blank, period. And when you want to be done and you decide you don't want to talk anymore, you can wrap it up. Trust me, you are in position. This has put me in the best position. And it just is a great way to kick things off. So on the FaceTime, of course, you open up and you have to come. I believe that like you should initiate the energy. Hey, like, hi, nice to meet you. How was your day? Enthusiasm is contagious. And for one, and for two, they might be nervous. Very true. I respect that it might be nerve-wracking to get on a call with someone and, it's like you don't know what's going to happen. I can understand that it's nerve-wracking. So I do my best to set the tone and be like, I will let you know that I'm cool. Like this is a good conversation. I'm not here to like be weird and awkward on the phone, right? And here's the thing. I gauge energy based on how, like, if they don't reciprocate the energy that I give out, that I'm also not leaning towards this individual. That's one way to weed them out. I got on a call one time with Josh, name dropping because who cares? It's a very common name and you will not know him. And I literally took notes. And this is why it's important for me to take notes, because I consider documentation to be like my bread and butter. Especially since the first guy, funny story, the first guy I matched with, we had matched before. And he had hit me whenever we opened up. He's like, oh, wow, like, we matched again. I was like, we matched again? I said, well, what happened the last time? I said, do you remember, like, did we talk last time? Like, what happened last time? He's like, oh, I don't remember. He was actually my first call. As soon as I got on the call, I was like, oh, maybe this is why this didn't go far last time. This is why and then that's why I started taking notes, so I wouldn't have the same people coming back through. And I'm like, wait, I remember you. And I remember you got a 2 out of 10, right? This is back when I had my rating system. So, Josh, I got on the call with Josh. I told him I was going to call him at 6. I called him at 6. Hey, Josh, how are you? How was your day? It's nice to meet you. Yeah, like, I'm like, oh, okay. Did I catch you at a bad time? Because I told you I was going to call at 6. You're not acting like you were expecting a call at 6. Oh, man. No, it's just, okay, Josh. It was nice meeting you. Hang up. 3 minutes. Josh is the only call I ever had that was 3 minutes. He thought I was joking. Called me back. He called me back. I said, what's up? I answered. I said, what's up? He said, what's going on? Like, did you, like, what? I said, Josh, you're not really. I said, Josh, so far, this isn't giving what I'm looking for. It was nice meeting you. Have a good day. This probably won't go very far. Thank you. Wrap that. Saved me. And imagine, because texting Josh, like, I would have never imagined. When I saw his profile, he looked really cool. I'm a very upbeat person. I talk a lot. I like to talk. I enjoy conversation. So it would be wrong of me to try to make it seem like that would be okay for me. That's not okay. First impressions are everything. So some people are like, oh, well, Trini, you're judging him too fast. You're judging him too fast. Whatever. I don't care. It's the first. This is my first impression of you. Not really here for it. I gave you a good first impression of me. You couldn't even care. This is my first impression of you, and this is what you're giving me? No. Imagine if I went on a date with Josh. If I would have just texted Josh, and Josh and I go on a date, and I'm like, bro, how boring. He has no energy. Low energy is what I wrote. Low energy. And actually, in the 3 minutes that I met him, I learned that he had been in Houston for 6 years. He did health sales, and he wanted to be an entrepreneur. He's the only person to ever get a 0 on my rating. No, Josh, you'll never hear from me again. Now, since first impressions are everything, the people that do get on the phone and they flow into conversation, you will immediately be like, okay, that's when you get on your first call and the conversation flows, you'll be like, it was worth it. It was worth it. Because I did about 10 calls on this day, right? And as I'm going through the calls, like, I let them flow to the best of their ability. Like, how was your day? I'm always going to be a follow-up question type of person, Like, if you have nothing else to ask, just ask a question about something else they mention, right? they say they do. Oh, what do you do for work? Oh, well, I am in construction. Oh, really? How'd you get into that? How long have you been doing it? You can ask a question off of an answer. Just like be loose with it. Just so you're just getting to know them. You want to get to know a couple things about them, like things that I want to walk away understanding is like, where are you from? Are you from Houston or not? What do you do for work? And what has your experience been like on Hinge? That's always my wrap up question. This is how I wrap up the call, and I let them know. I'm like, okay, perfect. Like, and I will. It depends on how you want to go about it. Everybody has. You're gonna figure out your own flow. You know, everybody's different, and it's gonna be very much aligned to your personality. But what I found to be a really great way to end the call out after having, if there's a really good conversation, I'm like, well, how has your dating experience been on Hinge? It's like, oh, well, I haven't even been on a date yet, or da 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 da. Well, so far it's been cool. Like, I met some really nice people. I'm amazing. I said, well, look, Eric, James, Carl, Steven, this has been great. This has been a great call. I would love to talk to you again. And typically, like, I have had some really good calls. If I won't lie and say I want to talk to you again if I don't want to. That's another thing. You have to remember that you hold the cards in this. If you didn't enjoy the conversation, you can very calmly say, well, it was nice to meet you, Josh. I don't feel like we're very compatible, but I do wish you the best in your journey. And maybe they told you they feel, I wish you the best in your career. I wish you the best in your dating process. I wish you the best in the city if they just moved to Houston. Like, just wish them the best in what they're going on. And I hope you have a good night. Wrap it. You don't owe this person anything. You actually, if anything, save them time and save you time. That's the thing. Like, because if I'm not their type either, that's the thing. I don't feel bad for Josh because I'm not Josh's type. Josh wouldn't have liked me either. I don't think Josh would like the kind of woman that I am. That's okay. I know there are certain things that are just me. It's just me. This is how I am. I can't help it. Right? I need a certain kind of man. So, like, I'm looking for a certain kind of man. That's okay. So you're saving them time as well, that you're saving yourself time and them. So it's okay to say, I don't feel like we're very compatible, but it was nice to meet you. And imagine being able to figure that out in 15 minutes instead of having to text someone for 2 days and going out on a date. I'm telling you, okay? So I did 10 calls my first round of doing this. 10 calls. The best call I had was the very last one. And I'm telling you, whenever you get on your first call where they flow and they're funny and they're nice and they ask questions about you and it's like, wow, it's going to be like worth it. And you also will get better at doing the FaceTime. It's worth it. So Trey was my very first call that I was like, no, this was great. I actually ended up keying it with Trey for an hour. And those are the... You're not hearing me. Those hour-long calls, and I've had 4 or 5 FaceTimes go from like, okay, I'm going to give him 10 minutes. Okay, I'm going to give him 15 more minutes. Okay, I'm going to give him 30. Like, we were on the phone for an hour, and we only got off the phone because we had to go to bed. That's it. That's the only reason we stopped talking. That's it. And those calls are, and now you have someone. You've gone through the list, right? You had 50 people that liked your profile, 20 that you actually matched with, 15 that actually text you, 10 that you set up a call with, 2 that had amazing first calls and that you would go on a date with. That can all happen in like 48 hours. Only reason if they're able to get on the call tonight, at the night I match them, I'm getting on the call tonight, I match them. If you're not free tonight, are you free tomorrow? Only thing that would push this back is like, when can we schedule the call? That's it. So you did all that, and now you have 2 actual candidates. 2 people you already talked to them. I would actually talk to them. I literally like conversing with them. We flow naturally. We have a lot of things in common. I find him funny. I find him interesting. He's smart. Whatever you're looking for, you get closer to finding it. So Trey was the first one I found. I was like, oh, okay, Trey, hold up. Okay. So you go through the FaceTime. Now here's the thing. Here's a rule I had to implement based on the kind of man I'm looking for. Based on what you're looking for, you can decide. However, I value leadership. And I want a man that's going to make the decision. I lead with the FaceTime because if a man hit me on Hinge and was like, oh, I'm not going to text, just FaceTime me, I'm like, how about take 2 of these and call me in the morning? You're not going to tell me what to do. But that's why women have to set up the call. So, like, because if a man just told you out of nowhere to FaceTime me, only FaceTime, it would seem like, why? Like, I don't know. But since I set it up, I set the first call just to let him know that this is how I like to communicate. I love a phone call. Even me sending the voice message is setting the standard of, like, I don't do a lot of texting, which is true. My family even knows I don't see texting as a very effective form of communication. I'm not going to text anyone all day. I'm busy. As I said, this is important, not top priority. I have other things that make me money that are top priority, and I have fun doing, right? I have hobbies of my own. I have a life of my own right now. So for me to justify taking out a big chunk to invest into dating, I'm like, I will invest time into dating, but you have to get to a point where just going out for a free meal is not enough to justify giving someone your time. And that's where I am. I'm not just going to go on at least I get a free meal. I got food at home. I have food at home. I don't need a free meal at anyone. That's not enough for me to be like, okay, I'm going to go on a date with you. I go on qualified dates with people that it makes sense to be seen with, or that it makes sense with in my life. We don't just go on. You gotta stop. Don't go on a date just because you need dinner. And if that's the case, pause dating, lock in elsewhere, and then return later. But we're not gonna get into that. I set the first FaceTime call. I do not, make sure this thing is on, I do not set up the second FaceTime. I thought if I think the call was good, and he thinks the call was good, he would contact me the next day to talk to me. Well, Trinity, what if he doesn't say anything? Or maybe I should text him? Or what if he da-da-da-da-da? Men are not confused. Okay? And the quicker you demystify yourself from thinking that he doesn't know, and what if he's not sure, and he knows. He's not confused. He understands. I like the call. He liked the call. I gotta set up every single FaceTime. Take initiative. I want a man that takes initiative. If he wanted to talk to me, if he wanted to talk to you, he would. If he wanted to, he would. Period. So I set the first FaceTime. I don't set up the second one. Right? So Trey didn't set up the second FaceTime. That's okay. Trey won't be hearing from me. Now let me tell you about Ben, Dylan, and Samir. These are all people I talked to on my second batch, right? My second batch. On the second batch, each of those, Ben, Dylan, Samir, I ended up talking to for an hour. I thought Ben was so sweet. I thought Dylan was really cool, chill, and Samir might have been the funniest person I've spoken to in years. So I liked them all for different reasons, and they were cool. All of them, we had an hour-long first phone call. Went well. And each of them contacted me the next day on their own. I didn't text them, hey, do you want to go another FaceTime tonight? Let them start. Let them do something, right? Let them do something, okay? So each of them went from that amazing hour first phone call to being like, no. Because, like, the way I think about it, they should be thinking about me the next day. Dang. Because you're going to stand out because most women are not setting up FaceTime first. And then if you have a great call, it's like, damn, who is this? Like, okay, let's talk again. Each of these three went from first FaceTime to actually setting up a date. Okay? So the next FaceTime, they had called me, hey, can you talk again? Yeah, I talk again. Let's talk. Now they're in phase 2. And on phase 2, they're, would you want to go on a date? Like, when are you next free? Which is like phase 2. There's only so much FaceTiming, right? You get 2 FaceTime calls. That's my limit right now. I'm not going to keep calling you. We're not going to keep talking on the phone. I'm grown. What are we doing? What's going on? What's going on? Where is this going? They're not confused. Stop thinking that men are confused. They're not confused. If he wanted to, he would. And the thing is, I had been through a lot, and these 3 wanted to. So they did. So I went on these 3 different dates with 3 different individuals, right? And it's crazy because the dates were cool. But the dates actually showed me what you do on the date is up to you. Like, how you go about the date is on you. I'm not going to say what I had out of these 3 dates. One of them was supremely better than the other two. That's I Once again, it's a numbers thing. So this was my second batch. Do 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 do. We get to our top 3. One of these 3 performed better than the others. Right? And that's how you make a little bit of progress. That's how you start to get closer to people that you actually want to be aligned with. Now, even the one that I was like, that the date was better, as we met in person and talked more, I was like, you know what? Not as compatible as I would like. Either you have to, as I said, you have to be very clear and very sure of what you want, like what you like. I know what I like. I know what I want. So even though he was great in some ways, there are other ways that the things that I'm like, these are also still non-negotiables. You can hit on a couple things, but like there are still things that are non-negotiable, you know? So I was like, you know what? We need another batch. And that led me to my most recent batch, right? Most recent batch, and where I am now, another boop, boop, boop. Once again, I said only do this like once a month. This is not my entire life. But when I do it, I focus. Cool. We get 3 dates out of it, and then we're just focusing on making progress. I get better at it. I get more refined, because the best thing about it is that as you meet more men and you talk to more men, you also get more clear on what you do and don't like. So one of the dates I went on, he was not a gentleman. He was great in a lot of other ways. Not a gentleman. Not a single door opened. Not a single chair pulled out. I did not see him as a good leader. He didn't plan the date well. It was like, oh, well, what do you want to do? Okay, well, let's just go do this. And, oh, dang, where should we go? And da-da-da-da. And I want to go on a date and turn my brain off and do whatever you say. So that wasn't in alignment for me. And it's crazy because, like, I had never been on a date where not a single door was open. And before that, you would ask me, hey, Trini, is this super important? I'm like, yeah, it's important, I guess, but it's not a big deal. After experiencing it, I'm like, yeah, that's a deal breaker for me. I'm not here for it. The other one invited me to his home at the end of the date. No. And those are the things. So as you get closer, as you do this more and more often, from the FaceTimes to the dates, you will be closer and closer to figuring out, okay, this is important. No, I don't, that's not, okay, I can take or leave that. Like, for me, being funny used to be something about, oh my God, absolutely. And being funny is important. However, you can't let the funny guys get through just because they're funny. They still have to cross their T's and dot their I's in other ways. And that's where I was like, okay, this is important, but would this allow me to ignore all this? No. So you will get better, and you will refine your process, and it will become more clear to you what you're actually looking for. So that's why this last batch has felt the best, the clearest, because I have more clarity, and I'm just better at it. So I had 2 1-hour FaceTimes. One of the 1-hour FaceTimes, he completely dominated the conversation. I've never met a man that loved to hear himself talk so much. He wouldn't even be making eye contact at the camera. He would be doing like this. Yeah, and there was literally a moment where he would finish telling a story, and he was like, yeah, well, and I guess how I got to Houston was, and so he went from telling one story to completely telling another. At no point did he ask me questions about myself. Yeah, that's it. And so it was an hour-long conversation, and I was like, wow, he loves to hear himself talk. He won't be hearing from me again, right? Now, this last one asked me questions based on the things that I was saying to show that he was actively listening to me. Called me the next day, had another great conversation, set up a date, picked me up in the Uber because it was raining, opened every door, pulled out my chair. It was the first, I'm 25 years old. Never had a man pull my chair out, slide me in at every moment. Paid for everything. We had great conversation, laughed, had a 6-hour date. Called me the next day, hung out again the other day. Based on what he had been listening to and the things I had shared with him, he brought a pickle-shaped dog toy for my son Coda, because I hate pickles, so I get to watch Coda tear up a pickle. He brought me My very favorite cookie that I mentioned one time, it's like thoughtfulness is important to me. That's something I prioritize, and I know what it looks like. And everything about the things that he brought me were very thoughtful, because I feel like sometimes it's when it comes to just flowers, which is still great. I do love flowers. But everybody does like flowers. You can get flowers to anyone, and that would be good enough. But when you're thoughtful and you're listening and you're paying attention, you get things for people based on what you think they would like. And in particular, getting Coda the toy was like, no one's ever brought my dog anything, so that was a lot. That was lit. I love that cookie. And the cherry on top was that he brought me a plant in a yellow pot. I love all my plants. Yellow is my favorite color. And it's also in the kind of pot, it's called an easy plant. So you just have to put water in the bottom and it'll stay healthy. He said it's supposed to bring good luck. And he knows what's important. He encourages me in the business I'm in. Like that. And it's so crazy. So it's been like, that's why I say it's important to know what you want. So at no point you start to waver on, does this kind of man actually exist? And as soon when he brought me those, I could have cried. So happy. I was like, these gifts are for Trinity Jackson. Not just for any girl that would like them and anyone that would be interested. These gifts were for Trinity Jackson. And the pot is so beautiful. I literally stared at it. I hugged it. I said, this is the most, I just could, it's my favorite shade of yellow. And I was trying to remember, like, it was to the point where I was trying to remember when I even told him that. I don't even, we never even had a moment where, this is my favorite. I just feel like I don't recall that. That's what I think, that's what I look for when I think of thoughtfulness. So that's who I'm talking to right now. And as of right now, I'm off Hinge until I have a reason to get back on. But this is someone I reasonably would spend more time with and see where this goes. And if this doesn't end up going anywhere, that's fine. And I'll re-begin my phase. But it took me going through the process of not wasting my time with anyone who was not the kind of man I would want to talk to. Being very clear on the conversation that I enjoy and the kind of person I am, the kind of energy I bring. And then just not getting discouraged. Also, this has been fun. Like, as I said, whenever you feel like you're holding more of the cards, like through setting up the first FaceTime, it feels like less pressure is on you, and it's more fun to me. I've been having fun. I'm just speaking for myself, and yeah, now I'm here, and I'm actually really happy with who I'm even talking to right now. We haven't set anything in stone yet. We're just cooking now. We're cooking though. We're cooking. And if I would have had to wait to text, it would have been months. And honestly, I would have been discouraged. So in the past, I would be setting up dates with unqualified men that I didn't even know if I had a conversation with, a connection with. And then I would be going on dates and I would be like, ugh. Then you get to the point where like there's piss in the dating pool. This isn't going to work and I don't want to do this. But you have to do it the right way and do it intentionally so you can get the results you're looking for. Another example of a date I went on of a guy who was cool on the phone. We had a good conversation. We went on a date. He brought me flowers. I did love flowers. They were beautiful flowers. And then on the date, I felt he was just boring. The date was exactly an hour. At exactly an hour, we were home. That's it. Hug, goodbye. And the dates that I love are the ones where it's like, I don't want to stop hanging out with you. Can we go do something else? That's why that date was 6 hours. And that was a good sign to me. So I hope this helps you on your intentional dating journey. Don't get discouraged. I encourage you to just try something different because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So sometimes you got to put yourself out there. You got to be courageous. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. And if you have any dating tips of your own, definitely drop them in the comment section below. I'd be more than happy to hear and see what everybody else does or gets into. Make sure you subscribe if you want more. Bye.